Good morning, and Mr. President, thank you for those kind remarks. Thank you for inviting me to speak with you here today. But before I begin, I want to acknowledge several individuals for their hard work and dedication to this great organization. Dr. Thornton, the National PTA President, again, thank you. Ms. Laura Bay, the National PTA President-elect. Ms. Joanne Doon, the PTA Executive Director. Major General Price, the G1 U.S. Forces Command. Mr. Sean McComb, the 214 National Teacher of the Year. And last but not least, each and every one of you members of the PTA for your hard work and dedication. Please give yourselves a round of applause. For 117 years now, the National Parent-Teacher Association has served as a powerful voice for children, a relevant resource for families and communities, and a strong advocate for public education to our great nation. The PTA's efforts during that time to empower families and communities to participate in their children's educational development have helped ensure that millions of children were able to reach their potential. I commend each of you for all that you do, and I'm very honored to be able to speak with you today. It is through these events such as this, the coming together of two organizations who share a common interest in our nation's youth, that we can find common ground to move our respective missions forward. I want to begin by telling you about some of the opportunities the Army has available for our nation's youth through the Reserve Officer Training Program and Commissioned Officer Corps. Each year, Army ROTC trains over 30,000 cadets at universities and colleges across the country and supplies the Army with 75% of its newly commissioned officers. Army commissioned officers are educated professionals of character who lead Army units and plan and direct their operations. They are experts in their field and held to the highest standards of ethics and conduct. Everything we do in our organization is focused on our future generation of American leaders. We are focused on developing the best and brightest students and cadets to become commissioned officers to lead our men and women in uniform. We want adaptive leaders who are able to think on their feet in complex environments. We need them to know how to think instead of what to think. We need them to be strong physically, mentally, and intellectually. For those young people who possess the potential to develop those characteristics, the Army is willing to invest in their development to help them succeed in both the military and in life. One way we invest in those individuals with potential is providing college scholarships. In fact, Army ROTC is the largest grantor of college scholarships in the United States. This year alone, we will award more than $270 million in 2-, 3-, and 4-year scholarships. But that's not all. ROTC students are also eligible for a monthly stipend of up to $500 for living expenses, as well as money for books and labs. The additional funds allow ROTC students to devote more time to their studies. While many non-ROTC students find it necessary to work a part-time job for subsistence, Army ROTC students, for the most part, graduate debt-free. To provide students with a wide array of options, Army ROTC has established a presence at more than 1,300 colleges and universities across the country, including some of the most prestigious institutions in America, such as Harvard, Princeton, and Stanford. In exchange, we ask scholarship recipients to commit to serving our great nation for a time as a commissioned officer. Many ROTC students go on to make a career of the military, while others fulfill their initial obligations and enter the private workforce with leadership experience that sets them apart from their peers. Using that leadership experience, many distinguished ROTC alumni have gone on to contribute greatly to the country, and I'm just going to highlight a few. General George C. Marshall, former Chief of Staff, Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, Nobel Prize winner, and author of the Marshall Plan. General Colin Powell, former Secretary of State and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, Secretary Leon Panetta, former Secretary of Defense, Director of the CIA, and for many years, U.S. Congressman. Walmart founder Sam Walton. And amongst your very ranks, your very own President, Bronze Star recipient, Colonel Thornton. Cool. In forming their leadership development program, the Army conducted studies to determine what it takes to be an effective leader and identified three main attributes: character, presence, and intellect. There is much common ground with your core values. Character is the standard by which each of us live and the outward projection of those standards. By projecting those standards to others through our demeanor, actions, and words, our character is defined. Integrity is a key element to any leader's character. Leaders of unwavering integrity always do what is right, both legally and morally. A leader's integrity must be absolutely unquestioned. Leaders who live with integrity build credibility with their subordinates. What do we mean by presence? Presence is the mental and social faculties a leader applies to the act of leading. Presence entails the projection of professional bearing, holistic fitness, confidence, and resilience. Strong presence is important as a touchstone for subordinates. Intellect. Intellect is how a leader thinks about problems, creates solutions, and makes decisions. An intelligent leader uses judgment, innovation, tact, and domain knowledge to make decisions and lead others. In applying one's intellect to any particular problem, a leader must be aware of their strengths and limitations and remain mentally agile to address changes and adapt to the dynamics of the situation. Another important aspect to become an effective leader is selfless service. At its core, the Army is founded on selfless service, and to see so many of you involved selflessly in improving our communities is truly an amazing thing. It is people like you who are adding value to the lives of our youth. You are the selfless servants, doing the hard, often thankless work that makes our country a better place. If there's one thing that each of you take from my remarks at this conference, it is that the work you are doing through volunteer efforts and interest in our country's children is directly impacting our national interests. You are making our communities and nation stronger. You are working so that future generations will enjoy the American way of life. You are all defenders of our future, and for your efforts, I thank you. Okay, to bring a little bit of life to the words I've shared with you today, I would like to transition to recognize a local student for his accomplishments by providing him with an ROTC scholarship. As I mentioned earlier, ROTC is the largest provider of college scholarships in the nation. Currently, we have more than 33,000 cadets attending nearly 1,500 colleges and universities across the country. The majority of those cadets are provided with a scholarship for tuition, money for books, and a stipend for living expenses. With the help of Army ROTC, many of our students have the opportunity to graduate from college, as I stated before, debt-free. So today is my pleasure to present an ROTC scholarship for over $105,000 to Jason Kermaski from Lake Travis High School right here in Austin, Texas. Okay, I joked with Jason as we met earlier that my name's on that check, but really it's the U.S. government that's paying for it, and please don't cash that with my name on it, because I don't know if there's enough funds to cover that big scholarship check. Please come forward, Mom and Dad. Jason is here today with his parents, Ernest and Barbara Kermaski. And I know they must be proud of their son's many accomplishments. This fall, Jason is set to attend the University of Mississippi to work on a degree in business management. Cool. Got a lot of Ole Miss fans out there. With an Army ROTC scholarship, Jason is taking the first step towards realizing these rather lofty goals. And please, can we get another round for Jason and Mr. and Mrs. Kermaski? Thanks so much. Thanks. Okay, I have all sorts of honors today, and the next one is I have the honor of presenting a well-deserved award to a man who has devoted his career to serving both his country and community. And I know it's Mr. C. Andre Daniels, but I am so blown away by Columbus that I'm going to use it. So, Mr. Columbus Andre Daniels, isn't that such a great name? Goodness gracious. I think that's such a dignified name that it just sounds so regal that I have to use it. So, Mr. Columbus Andre Daniels, an at-large board member and Resource Development Committee member for the National PTA and U.S. Air Force retiree. So in addition to his efforts with the PTA, Mr. Daniels has worked tirelessly to assist ROTC cadets after completion of the program with job placement and life mentoring. Working with advanced networks of colleagues, Mr. Daniels has successfully placed veterans in the position to gain employment. Mr. Daniels, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your hard work and dedication to supporting our nation's service members. You tirelessly support our veterans and their families is unmatched. Whether it be serving as a reference or assisting with resume and the interview process, you have been a significant voice to our nation's veterans. U.S. Army Cadet Command also appreciates the support you have shown to highlight the benefits and leaderships, training abilities of military service. Now, I'm here on behalf of my commanding general, General Combs, and it's her that wishes that she could be here today to present you with this very prestigious award. So on her behalf, please accept this Advocates Award on behalf of General Combs and United States Army Cadet Command. Okay, so before I close, I just want to thank President Thornton one last time for allowing me to speak with you about the opportunities of Army ROTC. Thank you, and Army Strong.
Colonel Dodson, I would like to thank you for the great speech. Leadership is so critical. We understand the importance. One of the things I preach about is leadership to our folks. That's the most important element of any organization. You set the tone, you can change the culture, you can improve the morale, and advance missions and put ships on the right path. So I will start preaching there right now. So everyone, what is this convention all about? Membership, membership, membership. And Colonel Dodson, because of your passion for the mission and the youth of our nation, on behalf of National PTA, I would like to offer you a membership for the 2014-2015 year.
Fantastic.